everyone and welcome to Seashell. This is Coralie D here. So today we're going to be talking about my top 5 favourite lochs to swim in Scotland. So I actually discovered these 5 lochs whilst I was taking on a challenge with my dad back in 2021. We swam the top 10 highest lochs in 10 days for a mental health charity. So today we're going to dive into why I think they're so amazing. But before we do that, I want to explain why, even though this is a Seashell video, why we're not wearing any Seashell kit. Now, this was back when Seashell was just up and running. We didn't have any kit with us, but now that we've got that kit, I would love to go back to these lochs and do it all again. Doing these loch swims also allowed me to see what products would be great when out exploring and doing this type of thing. So without further ado, here are my top 5 favourite lochs in Scotland. So for me personally, all of these lochs are amazing in their own little ways, so I can't pick an order. But the first one that I'm going to start with is Lochnagar. Lochnagar is located in the northeast of Scotland, which is within the Cairngorm National Park. The loch is nestled at the bottom of a mountain, which is also called Lochnagar. It is not a commonly known loch for swimming in, as most people are interested in summiting the mountain because it is a Munro. But trust me, the loch is well worth clambering down the boulder field to go for a swim. Although the waters of Lochnagar may be pretty cold and even frozen over in the wintertime, it is such a refreshing experience for those who enjoy wild swimming. I have been coming here since I was a child and have always been in awe with the landscape every single time. Being able to look up to the mountainside whilst down in the water is incredibly unique and I cannot recommend it enough. Loch number 2 is Loch Moore. The location of Loch Moore was recognised by the well-known adventure show as being the most remote location in Scotland. We had no idea that this was the case when we headed up to the loch. This became pretty clear as we were a couple of hours into our mountain bike ride and still nowhere near the loch. The journey to and from this loch was so breathtaking. It included this long bike section, which was then met with a magical causeway between 2 other lochs before we then started the hike up to the water. In particular, the views on the way back were even more spectacular. The only way to try to describe it was like we were on the set of Lord of the Rings. It was a very long day out, even for us sports enthusiasts, but for more of a doable adventure, I would suggest making a 2-day exploration. At the other side of the causeway, closest to the hill to climb to get to the loch, we found a bothy that welcomed people to come and stay in it. So I would suggest taking your camping kit and staying the night. Although it may take a long time to get there and back, I really recommend doing this one. It is 100% worth all of that effort. Loch number 3 is Coralie. After a beautiful bike route along Loch Affric, we hiked up and over some mountains. These mountains still had snow laying on them, which was a little bit scary as it seemed like they were right on the top of the cliffs. The views here were absolutely spectacular.
Like snow right there, and that's where we came from, all the way down the loch, all the way up here. Whew. Does that not feel a bit scary then?
We took a slightly different route than we would maybe suggest to others. We walked across the hillside over boulder fields because we didn't really know how far we were away to the water, but now we know it probably would have been safer to go up and over the hills, which I believe are Munros, and then down to the water.
Yeah. Imagine coming up here and trying to build that.
The water itself first seemed quite eerie as it was surrounded by cliffs on the one side, but when we reached the water's edge, it felt more like we were on holiday. The sun kept shining through the clouds and it was making the water super blue. The loch was actually pretty shallow for what felt like most of the swim. There was also a small island which we swam to for fun. If you're looking for an adventure which includes taking off some Munros on your list and getting a beautiful swim in, then this one is definitely for you.
Okay. Right, now the challenge is to get back. So let's just get changed and get up that hill and get all the way back home in less than 6 hours. Let's see if you can do it. It's just so beautiful. How are you feeling, Dad?
Great. Loch number 4 is Loch An. Loch An is also spelt Loch Avon or Loch An Eilean, which is a beautiful freshwater loch that is in the Cairngorm National Park, just the other side of the Aviemore ski slopes. We accessed this loch from the Loch An side, and we stayed in the Hutchinson's Memorial Bothy. Even though it was the most torrential rain we've ever experienced, it did not take away from the sheer beauty of this super long loch. You could just see how blue it was, and there was even lovely sandy beaches as we entered. Whilst we were swimming, you would turn around and look up to the dramatic hillside, which had a beautiful waterfall cascading down. The water wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be, but it was for sure blue. It felt very clean, and it was like being in the ocean, as if we were abroad. Another fun fact is that there is a big boulder here called the Shelter Stone, where people have used in situations where they are stuck. It is just big enough to fit a few people in there and keep you dry, especially if it's a stormy day and you're in trouble. Apparently this little hidden boulder cave has saved people's lives, so it's well worth going and checking it out. I would love to head back to this loch when it's sunny, because it's so stunning and I think it would make such a great adventure on a sunny summer's day. Loch number 5, Loch Coralie An Eilean. This loch is another one situated in the Cairngorm National Park, and it is up high in the mountains. It is actually the highest loch in the United Kingdom, at approximately 1,240 metres above sea level. Many people say that Loch An is actually the highest, but it doesn't quite get there, as it's only 930 metres above sea level. So what makes this loch quite different and distinct is that there is no path to get up to it. Even though there are other lochs that we've been to where there is no genuine path to get down, you go down rather than up. So that makes this one a little bit harder to get to. It is pretty easy to cycle, but knowing where to start and then climb up is the hard part. I have put the what three words in each of these videos, but if you'd like to know more information, then have a look at the description so that you can make sure that you find it. This loch is very near the summit of Ben Macdui, which is the second highest mountain in the UK after Ben Nevis. Even though we were in the height of summer and had been pretty much wall-to-wall sunshine for those past 2 weeks, there was still snowmelt feeding the loch, which made it icy cold. This has to be the coldest loch I have ever been swimming in. However, the reason I love this loch is actually to do with the colour of the water. When we put the drone up, the water from above didn't look much different to any other loch that we'd been in. It was cloudy and just looked cold, really. It wasn't until we were in the water where we could see just how intensely blue it was. It was truly breathtaking. The water looked so clean and crisp, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. The water was the same colour as the blue of my wetsuit.
It's so cold. It's freezing. Like absolutely freezing. I just can't believe how blue the water is. It's like bluer than the blue of my wetsuit. Wowzers. I'm kind of in shock actually.
After I had done the icy cold swim, I did not want to leave, but I knew I had to because of how cold I was getting. It was well worth the adventure getting there. You can never know how it will make you feel until you go and do it.
We did it!
So get out there, get exploring, and find the things out that you never thought were possible. If you want to see all the videos, then head over to my Coralie D YouTube channel where they are all there. Head over to Seashell's Instagram and get tagging us on all your adventures. If you have any questions at all about any of these lochs, then comment below or message me, and we look really forward to seeing you in the next film, whatever that may be. Catch you later, bye!